One thing to deeply understand in order to dissolve reactiveness, in order to dissolve the pain body, in order to resolve the residual mental impressions, in order to even let go of attracting such conflicting experiences, situations, people in your experience. One thing we must deeply understand is that we can only do this work looking within, looking at this, the person. The mind always blames this person and how they are acting, and that is why I'm feeling this anger or this resentment or this fear or that situation which is out of my control and it's happening to me. Me, this body, me, this bundle of thoughts, me, these emotions. So the mind will keep you in blame. And as long as it keeps you in blame, it will keep you on the surface of he said this, she said that, this is happening, this is why I feel bad. And you will receive this teaching that, okay, no, you have to look within, which in a second I'm about to tell you how to do. But you'll receive this teaching and the mind will say, well, you know what, this situation, I get it, I have to look within my thoughts and my emotions. But this situation, no matter how much work I do, these sorts of situations are arising. This person is mistreating me. This person is doing this to me. And so it also creates an unwillingness to even be receptive to this teaching and go deeper in practice. And it's quite paradoxical that only through the practice of this principle do you start to see that all that you are experiencing is simply your own mind. Obviously, you're not asking for these situations to happen. You're not asking or creating this person mistreating you or saying this to you or that happening. But you have to come to see the oneness of mind and experience and what we call world, what we call my life. What you are experiencing, the unique situations unfolding, is simply the unfolding of your own residual mental impressions. You're seeing a direct reflection of the impressions of your own mind. So if there is great anger here, you will continue to experience things that trigger this anger. In that moment, if you continue to just stay on the surface, if the mind keeps you on the surface in the story of what's happening, you will just get entangled in more anger, in more pain. And therefore, the mental impression remains strong. This situation passes, the anger also passes, but it remains in memory. It remains deeply embedded, impressed on the mind. And therefore, it just continues to resurface in a different, through a different person perhaps, through a different trigger, through a different face, through a different shape, through a different form. And then again, the mind is just now, okay, this is triggering me. This is bringing up this is triggering my pain. This is making me angry. And so you remain on the surface in this way. This is something that is so crucial to understand. What you are experiencing is a complete reflection. It is one with the current residual mental impressions. Some call these mental impressions karma, but it is not. I don't want you to think of it in this way where you may find yourself in a unfortunate situation and it may be more unfortunate than someone else's, or you may be going through a much more problematic experience that you're born into. So yes, it is unfortunate. However, you have to go through what you need to go through. What you are experiencing at this time is what you need to be going through. And you have to come to see this. And it can't be any other way. You see, you say that maybe, no, I don't accept this. I don't want to be receptive to this, in it, you still are going to end up experiencing that. Even if you reject this statement, you still have to just deal with whatever you're currently, the cards that you've been dealt. But you'll do it then in a victim mindset, that this is happening to me and I'm the victim of this. And that pain will remain alive within you. It will further just continue to entangle you. You will feel like life is burdensome. But if we're blessed enough to have this teaching come into our lives, then we have to start from where we are. We have to start with what we have and what we don't have and what our current experience is. It may be deeply problematic, it may be deeply conflicting, but this is where we must begin. See everything as a reflection of mind. Yeah, you don't have to take responsibility for like, I did this. No. That's not what is being said. It's simply the residual impressions in mind, the conditioning, the memory, the past experiences, the past pain. In order to untangle or disentangle yourself from the pain, you have to stop blaming. You have to, even though it's very hard because it does truly feel like, right? And especially when we're within that point of view, it feels like this is making me this way. But you have to come to go within, only look at your own self. This is because it's the source, right? If all you're experiencing is a reflection of the residual impressions of mind, then they can't be solved only on the physical level by he said this, she said that, through blame. You have to learn to look at the responses it is bringing up within you, the pain, the emotions, and you have to learn to allow. You have to learn to feel into the anger and let go of the story of anger. Let go of the story of what happened. Let go of being so interested in who did this to you and what their motive was and how they don't do any self-work and why do you have to do this. Just step out of all of that. That is the mind keeping you just on the surface, and it is keeping you in the entanglement, further entangling you within the anger, within the pain. And that is why you'll see the people who have a lot of the anger within themselves are the ones who continue to provoke situations which make them angry. And you now think, oh, I'm just a victim of life, but that's not true. Realize your position in this. You are not the situation being brought up. You are not even the reaction that is arising. From where do you observe even the reaction? From where do you observe even the anger? You have the capacity to observe. Observe the person. Don't just remain immersed in the experience. Observe the person itself, the person which itself is just a bundle of sensations and thoughts. Learn to direct your attention away from the thoughts which keep you in the entanglement and learn to direct it towards the emotion, the sensation, right? This is the practice of acceptance. Acceptance isn't just, oh yes, saying yes to this emotion right now mentally. Acceptance is learning to feel the anger and not battle against it and not adopt this victim mentality through this thinking. To not fight back against the experience bringing up this anger. It has arisen. Let me work with this. This is an opportunity. Thank the person who has done you wrong, for they have brought up this pain from within you, that it can be looked at and let go of. How to let go of it? By looking at it. In your observation, it transmutes itself into the looking, into the awareness, into love. It is a dissipating, it is a letting go of your residual mental impressions. This is a process of self-purification. The little self, the personal self's purification, or you can say the mind's purification. It is the disentanglement of the mind. And it is an equally important unraveling as inquiry. An inquiry where you actually reject and you distance, you scope out, you zoom out. I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, I am not this. And so it allows you to completely zoom out, expand into your true perspective. Whereas acceptance is you allowing the experience to unfold and allowing the mind to unravel and recognizing your true position as the place of non-reaction. Because the reaction, right, the anger or the fear or the frustration or the resentment that arises and the reaction to it, I don't want to feel this, the blame, both are observed from your true place of non-reaction. So that within you which says, oh, I can't tolerate this anger, is also just another feeling, another sensation, another thought observed. That which observes the anger and the reaction to the anger is not itself angry, is itself free of anger, is not saying no more anger. It is the allowing of anger. Learn to look at the anger. Seek to understand yourself rather than blaming the outside. See what's arising, acknowledge it, bring it under your conscious observation, free of interpretation and judgment, and it will be let go of. Allow it to remain an experience however long it must, and it will be let go of. And you will see that as time goes on, not immediately, but as time goes on, as you live in acceptance in this way, you will attract these sorts of problematic and conflicting experiences less and less and less and less and less. So for now, act on trust, act on faith if this resonates, if this makes you hopeful. But soon, through real practice, this will be your experience, and you will understand the oneness of how what you call the world is mind. There's no separation. And the person, which is all just constant reactiveness, will start to become the object of your observation. Rather than right now, it's the subject. I am this thought, I am this emotion. And these arise and they control you, they consume you, they become you. You act as that. This has become the subject for our experience. And so now it will actually become an object, meaning there will be distance between you and the thinking, you and the feeling, you and the sensing, you and the reacting. And in your conscious observation, all these things will now again come to balance. This is your personal healing. This is the most powerful shadow work you can do. Living in acceptance. And this is what living in acceptance really means. Living in surrender really means. Becoming that empty space in which all is allowed to arise and subside, free of judgment, free of interpretation. For that is your nature. Your nature is to be aware, to know. This is not a practice where you're being taught to substitute your thinking with something else or from negative to positive. No, you're being asked to simply relax into your true nature of seeing, knowing, being aware, observing. And this is why it is the cleansing of the mind, cleansing of the mental impressions. Inwardly, you naturally feel more peace. Your thinking and feeling process itself follows and becomes purified, becomes more stable, harmonious, less restless, less veiling your true nature. And your experience also reflects that. Your experience itself becomes more harmonious. But the beginning place of this is you must step out of blame. Blame only keeps you on the surface, and it continues to reinforce within you this mental identity. I am so and so. This is ego. This is the veil. So see this clearly. If you want to learn more about the letting go process, the acceptance process, I have a free letting go masterclass in which I teach you how to master this art of letting go, of acceptance. So I'll link that down below, and I'll also put in the end screen right now my acceptance playlist here on YouTube. So please make sure to take advantage of those resources. And if you do feel yourself being very reactive, very impulsive, compulsive, this is a practice that you need to go deeper into. It will be ultimate freedom from the person, from the reactiveness, from blame, from victimhood. So take a look at that. Best of luck.